So if you are broke in 2025 and you're not trying to get rich, you're selfish. Now you're probably thinking, how does the two correlate? And I'm going to explain today in this video why I believe that if you're broke, if you're not making a lot of money and you're actually not trying to make a lot of money and you're just sitting there wishing on money to come to you, then you're very, very selfish. And then I'm going to explain in this video why you're selfish and why you're never going to get rich unless you actually act today. Now, just a quick disclaimer before I start this video. If you are broke, but you are trying to make money and you're trying really hard and you're genuinely trying, you're not wishing, you're working every day. Let's say you are working a 9-to-5 job, but you're working every day after work, you're working every day on the weekends, which is something I did myself. If you're that person currently, then you are not selfish and this video does not apply to you. Now this video applies to those people who work a 9-to-5 job, come home, watch Netflix, relax, enjoy their evening, maybe go out, and then the weekend comes, again, they're not doing any side hustle, they're not working hard, they're literally just living for the weekend. So the weekend comes, they go out, they enjoy, they spend money, all of that kind of stuff, but they're in debt or they're struggling to make money, or they're just about getting by. People in their family are struggling as well. You are the most selfish type of person to live your life like that. And the reason why you're selfish, because you're not trying to become rich, okay? You're not trying to help yourself. Forget even helping yourself, but you're not even trying to help people around you. Now, the number one thing about being rich and about actually having money is so that you can actually help people around you. For example, right? You can help your parents, you can help your family members, you can even help people that are not in your family, right? Even friends, or you can help, people that are actually poor, give to charity, all of that kind of stuff. But for you to actually do that, you need money, right? If you're not working hard, if you're not actually trying to make money, and you're struggling, life is hard, things are tough, and you're not trying to do anything, then you are selfish. And I genuinely mean that you are selfish, okay? And I'm not trying to make this video to say like, oh, you're a bad person, all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that you're selfish, because knowing that you're not working hard, you need money and times are tough, but you're not actually doing anything about it, then you're not really going to become successful. You're not really going to be able to help anyone, okay? Now, let me just give you a quick background story on who I am and, what I do myself. So I left the UK 10 months ago, okay? And in the UK, I was working a 9-to-5 job. I used to hate my job, used to struggle at work. And honestly, it was something I didn't see myself doing for the foreseeable future. Now, the issue I had was that a lot of people I was working with, they sort of had that 9-to-5 mindset. They didn't really want to escape. They were happy where they were. The only time they sort of wanted to move up was within the company, to get a higher role, etc. They didn't really have the same ambition as me, which was to start an online business or start any type of business so you can eventually escape your 9-to-5. My thing was that I wanted to escape. I wasn't happy where I was in my current job, but at the same time, I wasn't doing nothing about it. I was actually working, okay? So when I was working my 9-to-5 job, literally 10, 11, 12 months ago, I was working on my online businesses at the time as well. So I was working on my YouTube channel, I was working on some of my other online businesses, and I was working, I was grinding, and I was grinding really, really hard. I used to literally go to work. I had a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift, and I had that 3 days in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I used to literally sleep probably an hour or two before my shift because I was working all night, and as soon as I come back, let's say on a Friday, I literally work for hours and hours and go to sleep for about a couple of hours and then go to work the next day for another 12 hours, okay? And I did this consistently weeks on weeks on weeks, okay? So I sacrificed so much sleep. I worked so hard because I wanted to escape, okay? I didn't want to work a 9-to-5 for the rest of my life. It's actually so funny because a lot of people at work, and I don't blame them, all of you guys that are watching this video that are working a 9-to-5 job, you've got a very 9-to-5 mindset, and honestly, you need to change that. And I realized this when I moved to Dubai, and I'm going to explain exactly my story briefly about how I got here. But yeah, essentially I quit my job, I moved to Dubai, I had no savings, I sold my dream car, and I just moved to Dubai. The reason I moved to Dubai was because I love Dubai. I've always wanted to move here, and it was something I always wanted to do. And I never really took action, and I tried to apply for jobs in Dubai, in the UK, never really got me anywhere. And I thought, let me get out of the UK, move to Dubai, and hopefully I can find a job. That was my initial thinking, right? Again, I was in the whole 9-to-5 mindset. I did have a little bit of online income, wasn't a lot, but it was something that was helping me get by. Eventually I moved to Dubai, tried to find a job, just couldn't get one. If you guys know, trying to get a job in Dubai is extremely difficult, right? Honestly, the competition is extremely high. So for you to get a job in Dubai, you really, really need to stand out, okay? I wasn't able to stand out. I wasn't able to get a job. It is what it is. So what did I do instead? A lot of people would have given up or just gone back to the UK or whatever, right? But me, I decided to work on my online businesses instead, because I knew if I keep working on this, it's going to eventually get me to a point where I'm making good money online. And it did. I worked on it hard, and I worked on it day and night, and it's allowed me to live comfortably here in Dubai. Now, that was only possible because of all the sacrifices I put back in the UK, and because I did that, I'm now here in Dubai. As you can see from my backdrop, I've got really, really nice views, and honestly, the weather is good 24/7. Today today it's like 35, 36 degrees. Life is good here, right? Honestly, one of the best things I ever did was move to Dubai, because me moving to Dubai has sort of motivated me to work harder, shown me what type of life I could live here, and the quality of life here compared to the UK is unmatched, okay? Completely unmatched. So back to my original point, which is that if you're not actually making money, or you're not trying to make money, then you're very selfish. Because, okay, let alone you're not trying to help yourself, but you're not even trying to help the people around you. You don't even have a goal to help the people around you. Or maybe you do, right? A lot of people I know, I've spoken to a lot of people and they say, yeah, when I make good money, I want to help my parents, I want to help this person, I want to help that person. And I'm listening like, okay, cool. But what are you actually doing to change that? Like, what are you doing to actually be able to do that? Because a lot of you guys aren't doing anything. You're working a 9-to-5 job and you're comfortable. Honestly, being comfortable is one of the worst things, because there's no growth when you're comfortable. If I wanted to be comfortable, I would have stayed back in the UK, worked my 9-to-5 job and just been comfortable. There was no risk, okay? But I took the risk. I moved to Dubai. I had no savings. I just moved and I said, I'm going to make this work. Whatever it takes, I'm going to make this work. And I did. So it just shows that, you know, the greater the risk, the higher the reward. But a lot of you guys don't even take minuscule risks in your life. A lot of you guys are scared to even take that leap to change your life, because you just don't want to get out of your comfort zone. And it's actually so sad, because I'll give you an example, right? Back in the UK when I was working my 9-to-5 job, and I've worked a few jobs, right? You know, if you want to watch my whole story about, you know, how I was in the UK to now, I will leave that video at the end of this. But for example, when I used to work in the call center, there was people there that was been working for 25, 30 years. When I worked as a media operator within Sky as well, there were people that have worked there for 25, 30 years. And, you know, they used to get applauded, you know, the company used to applaud them or whatever. For me, that's like, you know, that's crazy. How can you stay in the same place for 25, 30 years, especially a job, right? And, you know, you might maximum be on 40 or 50K a year, when there are people here that are 20, 21, 22, making 100K a month, and you're celebrating being at a company for 25, 30 years, making 50 grand a year, whereas there are people 30 years younger than you making double of that in a month. Doesn't that scare you? Doesn't that make you think like, I've wasted my time? So whenever I used to see that, and I used to obviously see it on my emails that this person's worked here for 25, 30 years, in my opinion, that's disrespect. In my opinion, you should look at yourself and think, wow, like I've actually just wasted my life here. Now, there's no disrespect to the people that have done that, okay? My point is that you've not tried to look outside of the matrix. You've not thought outside of the box. You've sort of gone with the flow, gone to work and sort of decided, I'm going to stay here for years and years and years, and you never decided to actually come out of that and make money, make real good money that 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, there's actually a 15-year-old that I know is making 3 grand a day. None of these guys are like smart, like bro, a 15-year-old making 3 grand a day. That just shows that anything is possible, and that literally age doesn't matter. So if you're 40, 50 right now watching this video, but I'm just telling you the truth, right? And I'm not saying you wasted your life, maybe you didn't know about certain things, but my issue is you never tried. You never tried to get out of that. You know, for me, it was a case of I'd rather go broke trying to chase a dream than stay comfortable where I am. Like, I can't do that. So my point is that you need to think outside the box. It's never too late. If you're 40, 50 watching this video, I want to say to you, it's never too late. You can start today, and literally 3 months is all you need to change your life. 3 months of hard work, dedication, putting your head down, literally grinding on one thing for 3 solid months, you can literally change your life. And that's exactly what I did. And this is exactly what I help people do. So if you guys want to know what I do as my business, I essentially run a coaching business where I help people sell their knowledge or skills to high ticket clients. And I help people scale to 10K a month within 3 months working in my program. And I've done this for countless amounts of people, right? There's a lot of testimonials which you could check out on my Instagram page. And I help people that are beginners as well, because I want to help people go from a 9-to-5 to making money for themselves, which is what I did, right? I was working 9-to-5. I quit my job so I can make money online for myself. And that's why I went on this mission, because I was like, okay, if I can do it, I'm sure I can help a lot of other people do exactly the same thing. So that's just my coaching program. If that's something that you are interested in, by the way, you can either click the link in the description to book a call with me, or you can DM me on Instagram. And what we'll do is we'll jump on a call and I'll see if we're a good fit to work together. But yeah, putting that aside, right? I'm not really here to talk about that, and I don't really care if you join or not, because at the end of the day, I only want to help people that are committed. So the reason I'm making this video is because I want you guys to understand that a lot of you guys are just selfish because you're not really working on anything. And I've spoken to a lot of people who, you know, should be working on things, you know, but they just not. They come up with excuses or whatever the case is. If you are not trying, if you don't have a side hustle, if you're not actually trying to leave your job or get out of the matrix or get out of your current situation, especially if you're struggling, then honestly, you are selfish. Because think about it. I'll give you an example. Think about it, right? Let's say you're making 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 50 grand a month, and you can help your parents and you can help someone in your family, or, you know, you can do things for people in your family. Isn't that worth it? Like, wouldn't that make you happy? Because a lot of people say money doesn't buy happiness, and that's just broke people talk. A lot of broke people say that money doesn't buy happiness. To a certain extent, it doesn't. However, certain things you do need money, because a lot of things, there's a price on it, right? But you need to start thinking beyond that. Obviously, material things are material things. For some people, a Lamborghini makes them happy. For some people, buying a beautiful house makes them happy. money, but I think you need to think a little bit deeper than that. When you help your mom, or you help your dad, or you help anyone in your family, you need money to do that, right? You need money to actually help them. Maybe you can pay off their rent, maybe you can pay off their mortgage, or maybe you can retire them, or maybe you can buy something for them. These type of things will make your parents happy or make your family members happy, and you can't do that without money. So if you actually want to help your parents, if you actually want to help your family, if you actually want them to be proud of you, if you actually want to do something in your life for them, just try and get rich. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is by making money online. A lot of people try physical businesses, a lot of people try other types of businesses. I'm not trying to shit on those type of businesses. You can make good money, you can do good physical business, etc. In my opinion, the best way to make money is online. It's what a lot of youngsters are doing right now. There's a lot of 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds doing that. Making money online means that, you know, you're not tied to a geographical place. You could travel anywhere, you can take your business with you anywhere. For example, right, my business is predominantly done on my laptop. So if I want to go to another country, as long as I've got my laptop, I can make money there. I can do my business there. I can go back home to the UK. I've still got my business in my hands. So I'm not really leaving my business anywhere. My business goes where I go. That's why I like making money online. That's why I focus on making money online, because I don't want to be tied to a geographical location. As much as I love Dubai and I want to stay here, just having that freedom that I know tomorrow I can travel somewhere else is worth it for me. That I can just make money online. I can go back to the UK for a few weeks. I can go to Saudi Arabia to check it out. I can go to Qatar. I can go wherever I want. And for people that actually enjoy the 9-to-5 job, you know, that is a whole different conversation. I still believe you should try and find ways to make money outside of that so you can make more money. Just making money through a job is not going to pay you. Like, there's no job that's really going to make you a millionaire, right? There isn't a job that's going to make you a millionaire. So if you want to actually help people around you, you need to do business. The other thing is, not everyone can do business because not everyone's business minded. And at the same time, you also need 9-to-5 workers. I understand that as well. Not everyone can escape. But in this video, I'm just trying to talk to the select few that, you know, have this inkling in them that they want to escape, that they want to do well for themselves. And maybe you're 40, 50 years old and you wish you had started then. My advice to you is that it's never too late and you should start now. And if you're 20, 21, 22, 23, in your 20s, then you should start now, because you're going to regret it when you become 40 or 50 years old that you didn't try. So try, work hard, put your all into it, and I promise you guys, you will become successful. Everyone who puts in the effort does, but you have to put in the effort. Because I've also worked with a lot of people that say they want to do this, say they're going to put in effort, say that, you know, this is what they want to do, but halfway along they quit, or they give up, or they just lose motivation, right? Because motivation is a scam anyway. You shouldn't do things with motivation, you should do things with discipline. And honestly guys, you just need to work hard. If you're in the UK, I would also advise leaving the UK, because the UK is kind of going downhill right now. Come to a place like Dubai. Honestly, like, weather beautiful, the people here are amazing as well, and honestly it will just inspire you as well. So just come to a place like Dubai, you know, work hard, make money, leave your surroundings that you've been brought up around, which I did because I was in the UK for 27 years and I just decided to leave and move to Dubai. And then yeah, just work hard on one skill, work hard on one thing, and eventually you will be successful.